Greetings from the TCS Research Customer Experience Center at TRDDC Pune. Today we have Christian Østergaard with us, who is lead visionary and senior strategist at PostNord. So welcome, Christian.
Thank you very much.
So Christian, lead visionary, what a fantastic job role. So can you tell us a little bit about your role and also a little bit about what PostNord does?
Yeah, of course. PostNord is, as you said, 400 years old. It was traditionally a business which was oriented around the mail distribution. Over the last 25 years, we increased and went into a parcel business. And over the last, I would say, 10, 15 years, it's been transformed more to a parcel business in a fairly aggressive market, in the sense that we have pretty good competitors, which we, I would say, admire for the solutions that they do. And it's a hugely competitive area to be in. It's also an area which has undergone extreme transformation. Some of it has been that we have in Denmark hardly any letters left, which is a little bit hard for a business that actually goes big on letters. But it's been a continuous transformation the last 25 years. My role is a little bit more funny, in the sense that I try to, as a lead visionary, I try to look into the future. I try to figure out what kind of technologies is it that we're going to have in the future. What need we to do to get to use those technologies? And since we are a highly operative company with quite short KPIs, I'm trying to see if I can backtrack these technologies and see if we can use them already today, so they will gain us, maybe a competitive edge, but also maybe they will gain us, that we will not have the problems that I'm trying to avoid in the future. So it's a little bit like being a little bit ahead of most of the people I work with, and try to thereby come with inputs and ideas on how to change in a way that we haven't thought about.
So Christian, you seem to be in a perfect storm. So you have parcels volumes going up, you have letter volumes ramping down, you have been the subject of a large demographic shift, not only in your customer base, but also in your workforce. You have regulatory pressures, and you have to deal with a lot of sustainability challenges. And to top it all, you have a market with many new entrants looking to make an entry. So what are some of the strategic challenges that you're dealing with? And what are some of the strategies you're thinking about? And especially, what role does technology play in those strategies you have in mind?
I think for my personal point, I see technology as one of the most vital things that we have to invest in the coming years. And as you said very clearly, that we have a people pyramid which actually is going the wrong way, which means that there are two things connected to that also, which is that young people really don't want to, in the future, to work at night, or they don't want to work the hard stuff. Nobody wants to be a driver driving alone in a vehicle. At the same time, recent number shows that 83% of Danes, young Danes, they take a high school degree, which is giving more like a move towards a white collar job. So we are standing in a situation where we really need to figure out what are we going to do in the future. Our main operation is, I would say, it's semi-automatic in the sense for parts of the process, but we still have an enormous amount of FTEs. So we already now have problems in getting those FTEs. So technology is one of the best levers in that sense, in order to make sure that we actually can perform in the future. It's not to get FTEs out of the equation, so to speak, but it's actually more from a need and looking into a future perspective on how we still can operate in an area which is increasingly being competitive, where our opponents are having the same challenge that we have. And we have other businesses which probably will gain traction as well. You know, the healthcare, which is taking maybe some part of the uneducated staff that we have today. And I foresee that we will have a battle about getting staff in 3 to 5 years from now.
Wow.
So one of the levers, as you said, that for me is one of the most vital ones is technology.
So Christian, you have been a regular visitor to our research centers in India. And we know that we have benefited a lot from these visits, just in terms of the sheer inspiration that you bring with you that inspires our research. But what have been some of the outcomes that you have got from these visits?
First of all, I would say I'm extremely grateful that I get this opportunity. It's not every time that you are invited on board together with the researchers. For me, it's been almost a yearly highlight in the sense that I believe that it's difficult to develop a business just by its own. The logistical business is in that sense also a very traditional business. It's a business which is it's not even a fast follower, I would say, many times in the technology space. So for me, it has been imperative that I try to bring in technology that is many times inspired what we are doing in other industries. And this is why you are so extremely interesting, because you're serving a platform of industries. You are making technology advancements in many different areas, and those areas for me are the ones that we can gain traction on, maybe sometimes easier than if we were following the slaving path, so to speak. And this is why I've been using you as an inspiration, but I've also been inspired by visiting manufacturing industry, what's happening in healthcare, what's happening in retail, what's happening in aerospace, and try to see if I can find something that can actually help our business to grow faster than it would if we were just looking at ourselves and our peers. On top of that, we have a vast network of peers, in the sense that we are talking to other postal operators, and together with TCS, we have done this shared technology collaboration with Belgium Post, which is something that I actually on a weekly base have contact to Belgium Post. I'm following a lot of startups. So in that context, you are one of the vital ones in order to give me an aspiration on which way we are moving, and maybe in collaboration with you guys can develop things that we already can maybe go from a research to a market in a faster way by putting our domain at stake.
So can you be a little more specific? Can you talk about a few interactions and visits which have led to some sort of collaboration, and that collaboration has generated some business outcomes for you?
Yeah, I can take some of the recent ones. Of course, we have developed them over time together, but if you look at the pal picker, which is highly recognized internally as yours, it's also going to be highly recognized with us in the industry. And I think that the idea of co-developing a product which has a focus on our industry. It's not that you don't see types of this on the market, but with the needs that we have, which are quite specific, it's built into, it's a solution which is built not just into solving our problem now, but where we also have considered some of the ideas that we have for the future. That's just one of them. I think that the Atlas, which we are developing right now, is maybe going to be an industry game changer. If we succeed in making this, it's not just something that would be an extremely important part of our process. It will be actually for the industry, I think. And we have in both of the solutions, both for the pal picker and for Atlas, we have a co-creation part with the industry, in the sense that we know that bpost is just waiting for us to give the go, and then they will also jump into these things. And I think that these are just few examples. I think one of the more recent ones which we are starting was something that you mentioned last time I was here, where we are able to identify how much air we have you can call it an air fill factor, there is in our packages from our shippers, which is a perfect tie-in for us to give that information to the shippers and have a joint effort towards a more sustainable world by making smaller packaging and also by their cutting down on the transport cost, because it's quite often just related to the sizes. So I think we have multiple cases which we can say that coming here, listening to you, getting the inspiration, ticks some interest for both of us, and then develop some products.
The question, do you have any advice how other visitors to TCS research centers in India can make the most of these interactions that they have with the research teams?
It's again about finding the easiest and simplest thing. I don't believe in complexity, I believe in simplicity. So when you look at things and listen to things, you have to figure out what is actually the core, what are the problems that we need to solve. We can easily solve problems which are imaginary. We can easily pretend, actually try to figure out what kind of problems we have in the future. But the idea is actually to break it down to something that's simple. And I think that for me, it's an inspiration to listen to other industries, actually try to build inside my head, I try to build a very, I would say, connected world. I always had the interest of more than end to end. I actually think there are so many influences that is happening in our daily life that actually bring us perspective that we need to take into the equation. And I think also when it comes now to the development of technology, the speed of technology, we need to be a little bit more alert than we have been before. And that's why I think also it's extremely interesting to follow what's happening in other industries, because things are moving in different paths. And I spent last year quite a lot of time in fintech understanding, and I thought it was inspiring. And I think that also when it comes now to the future works of how agents will actually influence us in the way that we're gonna order the parcels. I'm putting myself here in the chair of being the one who's ordering the parcels. How much of that is gonna be automated in the future? What is it for convenience I have as a millennium? What is this kind of a convenience that you want to have as a Z generation or the alpha generation? The world is quite complex, but you need to try to see, if you can find that path through the forest where you get some clarity in things. I might be wrong sometime, but at least I tried.
So here's wishing both of us more inspiration, more collaboration, and more outcomes. As always, Christian, it was a pleasure having you at the TCS Research Center at TRDDC Pune. And I very much look forward to having you here and hosting you soon in the near future.
Yeah, thank you for letting me come in here, and I just want to congratulate you also on your new house here. It's an impressive building, and I hope that ideas and inspiration will flourish between you, because you definitely have the place for it now. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much.